Hello, good evening. Welcome to the live stream. Good evening to Southwestern. Hope you are well. I'm glad to see you back to being Southwestern. That makes it easier for me to read rather than SWR Rail or whatever it was the other day. And good evening, Seb Welsh Trades, and good evening, Amaze Tays as well. Hope you are all well indeed. So it's been a bit more of a strange day weather-wise, hasn't it? But it's been a little bit cooler. So let's kick off straight away, get straight into the route. We're going to start off in Preston, and we're waiting for our train, I think, hopefully, all being well. I've got my timings right. Yeah, hope you're all well on this Tuesday night. Have to say, no dramas in terms of downloading it. Came in just after 6 o'clock. Got it all installed, and it was very, very quickly installed, so easy to do, and I've had a very, very quick run out as well. Yes, indeed, Seb, yeah, your departure announcements very, very good. Yeah, really good to listen to. Yeah, hope you're all doing well. Right, here we are then. So this is, where's my cursor gone? Oh, there it is, yeah. Here we are at Preston Station. Rail drive, I like that. So I think we're waiting for our train on platform 3. We should be 11 o'clock departure. So I thought I'd kind of do it this way, because we should come in as a diesel, and then we'll let AI control the train, and you'll see the diesel depart, and then you should see the 86 come in as well. Ah, fair enough, Southwestern. Ah, right, okay. Well, I've spent many times train spotted at Stafford down the years, Seb. That's pretty much a local train for me. So this is our arrival from Nottingham. I think it's the 11 o'clock service that we are bound Firefly. Funny enough, I tried this out very, very briefly about an hour ago, and it's obviously quite random because it was a class 40 when I tried it out earlier on. Absolutely amazed, Tage. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for waiting until we've done the stream. The locals, I'm sort of in between. I mean, I'm near to Stone, actually. That's my nearest station. I'm sort of halfway between Stone and Shrewsbury, Stoke, and Crewe. They're all fairly close to. There we go. So we've got our AI driver. Of course, this was happening in real life back in the day. You can see the 47 departing. We'll have a look at the carriages in a minute, and we do a little bit of naughtiness. We should see the 86, which will be departed soon. The only thing I'm going to do though, when it does couple up, I'm going to actually restart the game again, because I don't quite trust the game enough to keep us going if I do it this way. But I thought it'd just be a nice fun way to have a look at it. Oh wow, Amaze Tays, yeah, that's interesting. I know that's a good question. I bet somebody will know the answer to that. Yes, indeed, Southwestern, yeah. But this was quite a regular event back in the day. Back in the 80s, this was how things were done. You would get a diesel coming in, then the diesel would depart, and now it's loco hold. I mean, this is an Edinburgh service, so this will now join our train shortly. And we do have a driver on board, I believe. Ah, right, okay, yeah. Royal Low. Of course, there used to be, back in the day, there were quite a few. Actually, I think we got train departing there. That's a mail train, isn't it? It's probably in 87, I think, but we missed that departing. But this should be setting off quite soon. There used to be quite a few Class 50s in NSE livery, didn't there? They were on things like Paddington to Exeter, weren't they, back in the day? That's a good question. Well, it's going to take us about an hour and 20 minutes to get from Preston to Carlisle. But we've got to wait for our engine burst. So this is our 47 that was Firefly. That's going to go into the kind of the holding position for the next diesel service. Yeah, absolutely, Southwestern, and this was very much a site at Preston or at Birmingham New Street, and you would have, I mean, you can see those two. Okay, this won't work like this in reality, but you will see in reality. Oh, there it is. It's off. You would see this manoeuvre happening all through the day at places like Preston and Birmingham New Street. I like that, funky. Yeah. Yes, indeed, Seb. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Yes, I do like your departure board. Yes, indeed, because certainly right from the way back when the West Coast Main Line was electrified, it was a very, very common site indeed for this changeover. British Rail were very much wanting to operate the electrics in the electric part of the route, and obviously they had to put diesels on for the diesel part of the route. And I mean, that changed a bit during the 80s because we started getting HSTs on cross-country services. So I thought just a little bit of a fun way to start the scenario, really. And I would be tempted to try and get on board the train and actually drive it off, but I've got this feeling it might dump on us after a few minutes. So I thought I'll restart it once it's... We'll have a look around at the carriages first. So the only slight... There we go. So I think she's going to connect up with the train in a second. Then we'll have a quick look at the carriages as well. There we are. So that's that. So our train is connected up. So yeah, it was such a routine event, and you know, you would see it happening all through the day at particularly at New Street. I've seen it happen loads of times. So we'll have a quick jump into our Mark 1 Buffet car. And you can see all sorts of goodies. Those pork pies don't look the best, actually, do they? They look slightly on the stale side. And we've got ham salad sandwiches in abundance. Curly ham and cheese sandwich. That sounds appetising. Bit of chocolate, some drinks. And what about the price list? Well, that seems reasonable, doesn't it? Cup of coffee for 19p. Tea. And of course, this is the 80s, remember? So you won't find lattes or cappuccinos. It was just coffee, and that's what happens. So all sorts of stuff on there, and we get a pork pie for 32p, ham and salad sandwich by the looks of it for £1. That seems a bit on the expensive side. Yeah, does the shutter door open? That is the question. Oh, like that light, by the way. I do remember those lights that existed back then. There we are. Yeah, certainly does. It shuts. Yeah, I would love a bit of chocolate, but yeah, love that. And to be honest with you, most of the time I seem to remember you would find the shutters absolutely closed on these buffet cars. It always seemed as though, particularly if I was heading from Birmingham back up to Stoke, it would be closed by then on the cross-country section. Yeah, I'm sure he is, Seb Welch. There's loads and loads of videos of this, to be fair. So I'll just have a quick look at... I mean, these seats are very similar to what was in the Mark 3. And I think this is the Mark 2F. You can tell this is different. Obviously, the window arrangement completely different than the Mark 3. If you look at... I think it's something like the Mark 2D, then they are completely different than the this Mark 2F. This was like the latest version of, or the last version of the Mark 2. There we go, there's a bit of first class. Feels very comfortable. Yeah, could be Southwestern. So be great if we could go in the toilet, wouldn't it? But we can't quite manage that. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, I'm not quite brave enough to drive it off, because if we get in it and drive it, you'll probably find the game will dump on us or something stupid. So we're going to reload, quit the game, then restart it up. So we are going to be on a different 86. In fact, I quite fancy doing the one with the white roof. So unfortunately, you can't quite pick the train that you are going to drive, apart from that one, really, because that's unique. There was only one with the white roof. Not quite. Do you mean a real one, Southwestern? Yeah, I don't think quite that. Maybe maybe when we get to 100,000 subscribers, something like that. Yeah, I'd absolutely love if I ever become a millionaire, and I'm sure it won't be by YouTubing, but I would love to have one of those kind of real cabs where you basically transform it into, you know, sort of that 3D area, and it feels as though you really are in the train. Yeah, you probably could, Southwestern. Yeah. I can't remember there being different editions, Seb. To be honest, it was. I suppose there were different editions, weren't there? But it was just. It was a slightly advanced version. I think it was the deluxe one, if I remember rightly, and that was just to make sure I got the both the West Coast Main Line and the Pendolino. That's of course nearly a year ago now. I think that's what he means. Yeah, I think it might have been the deluxe, but I can't remember, to be honest, because we're talking about last September now. I do. I mean, for me, travelling about in the 80s, I was more likely to be behind an 86 and more likely to be on these Mark 2 carriages than it was the Mark 3s, in all honesty. Because going to London was a rare treat, and it was mainly Mark 2s going to places like Birmingham New Street. And it was very rare to see the air-conditioned stock, so I'm quite chuffed to see the Mark 2 air-conditioned one. Yeah, it was last September when Train Sim World 5 started, and although I've been YouTubing for probably about 10 months by that point, it was all recorded videos by then, but I just kind of thought when when that came out, I thought, oh, let's give it a go. Let's try doing a bit of live streaming, and of course I wasn't sure then whether anybody would actually watch it, and of course, absolutely, oh, no, we're not getting foggy. I was absolutely surprised and delighted when so many of you have watched. I thought that was yesterday, Seb, wasn't it? The test match. So here we go. We're doing the 10:58. So it's Nottingham to Glasgow Central and Edinburgh Waverley. Of course, we'll be taking it as far as Carlisle. A damn good test match it was as well. And I mean, Christopher's not here tonight yet, but he loves the cricket as well. I know Amaze Taze loves the cricket. Some people say I don't do anything interesting in South Western, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned, if you like trains, then you're interested. But yeah, so we've got a 2-1 lead in the test series now against India, and then Old Trafford is coming up next week. So yeah, so we're in the white roofed one, 86233, which is Lawrence Olivia. So hope that doesn't kind of suspend reality too much. Now, it's dead similar really to the Class 87, and the cab, okay, it's 3 windows and not 2, but it feels very, very similar. Remember, control and seat to get into the crouch position, because, and the good news is you don't have to wander down the corridor too far either. I suppose it might be a bit different from the other, so we need to put the DVD on. Was it 27 all out, Amaze says? Yeah, I heard about that. That's absolutely incredible, isn't it? Right, I'll tell you what we need to do. Let's get this thing set up. Yeah, that was some going. I mean, I was at work for the test match for England, and there was kind of whispers about it all day, and we were trying to. I wasn't trying to make it too obvious, because I think my team leader might have shouted at me if she'd have known I was trying to follow the cricket, what was going on. But we were very much invested in it. Ah, excellent, Southwestern. Yeah, I mean, there's loads and loads of stuff, isn't there? Right, so we could lock the doors. We've got a green signal. We've got a whistle from the guard. Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day when the West Indies were the team. There was nobody better than the West Indies, was there, back in the day? People like Viv Richards and Malcolm Marshall and all the greats, and then we got Courtney Walsh, wasn't there? But yeah, it's sad to see in some ways, because they were such an exciting team to watch, although I think England used to hate playing them. Right, let's get some power in, otherwise we're gonna... Now you do have to be... One thing I have observed, because I tried it out very briefly earlier on for about 2 minutes, and you have to be a bit more careful with the controller, because if you notch up, it's very easy to overpower. No, but I do remember that T20 final, though, from a few years back, where oh crumbs, what was his name? Where we were in quite a respectable position, and then I think he struck something like 4 sixes consecutively in the final over. Just feels so back in the 80s seeing this this formation, and I've seen this occurring so many times on the West Coast Main Line. I'm not totally convinced though that there would have been a full BG at the front like there is there, and then a BSO at the back, but I could be wrong about that. It'd be interesting to see a few videos. Oh, we got a 101 coming in off the Blackpool branch, and I think I haven't even looked at the stops here, but I guess we're probably all stations, aren't we? Where are we stopping at? Lancaster, Oxenholme, Penrith and Carlisle. Alright, excellent. Yes, Southwestern. I must admit, I'm very interested to see what liveries come out. Ah, right, okay. Has he put some up already? I did have a quick look earlier on, but I couldn't see any when I tried earlier on. I still want to do this on a freight run, because it probably won't be... Oh, didn't mean to go into the red zone. Might have just got away with that. Yeah, it probably won't be too far off. I haven't figured out a way round it, but it seems to me as though there are some times when you do a running train sim and then you press the number 8 button and you get the view at the back of the train. I've no idea why that happens, but it seems to be a thing. Ah, right, that would be handy, Southwest. I mean, the only slight snag is I think it's something stupid like the chat's a few seconds behind, so I mean, I should be able to observe them really, but whether I do notice them or not's another matter. But you obviously do get your board reminders. I was watching a Don Coffey video earlier of Manchester Airport to Carlisle, and he was pointing out there about even with modern trains they cut the power off for the neutral sections, and he said it would literally jolt a bit if they didn't. Yeah, there's that dodgy one, isn't there, just outside Lancaster? I do remember that. So I think 100 miles an hour is our top speed for this run, but that's partly because of the train and partly the coaches. At least I've got a free run at it anyway in base Tays. I've not got to worry about the score too much. I mean, I think Tom might have said on the preview stream about them using Armstrong Powerhouse sounds, and I don't know about the 87, so I don't know if these are totally different sounds or not. I mean, I've yet to kind of achieve it, but I suppose it's perfectly possible that I might do at some point, but one of these days I'll get stuck in the neutral section and won't be able to move. Yes, indeed. Yeah, certainly a nice chilled out way of spending a Tuesday evening, and with great company as well, of course. All was going well actually until about 20 to 8. I'd had my tea and everything was going fine. I've just seen the neutral section. There's a neutral section coming up. All was going well until about 20 minutes of tea, and then I realised that we'd more or less run out of milk, and I thought, right, that's going to spoil breakfast for tomorrow morning. So quick dash to the local co-op and got some milk in time, and then I was still back with about 7 or 8 minutes to go, so we were all right. Yeah, you see, here's a neutral section. But I won't notice them all though, that's for sure. We are going a little bit uphill. Alright, welcome back, Seb. I didn't know you'd gone. Yeah, loving the modelling. Pacer there, so. But yeah, all the services, it seemed as though for a while we went through a phase where it was basically all Mark1 Buffet cars on even the expresses for a long time. Trying to use the rundown. I mean, we haven't got a cruise control, but if you can kind of get the balance just right, then you should be okay. So I'm hoping there is a few reskins around come Sunday, and certainly fancy doing a free roam on West Coast Main Line South, and if we've got a Virgin Trains Mark 2s by then that's an absolute guaranteed combination, I think. And if we've got one in Freightliner, I know we can't manage double-headed, then I think we're bound to have a go at doing at least a free roam on a freight through the North London line. Interesting. When I press the 8 now, it starts. Oh, is it because of? Wait a minute. Yeah, you've got to do that first, haven't you? And then you do 8, then it does that. Yeah. Yeah, it's of course for many of the younger viewers, this is not something that you will remember, but for some of us, this was the site, the regular site on the West Coast Main Line, and of course was on the Great Eastern Main Line as well when it was electrified. Yeah, well, it kind of does South Western, although of course, you know, I'm used to having driven it many a time on Train Sim Classic, but yeah, first time with driving it in Train Sim World. We've got a slight novelty as well, because you've got your sunblind visor thing. He says, and you can actually adjust it down. Okay, that's not much use, but depending on the positioning on the sun, you can kind of shift it up and down a bit. I like how they've got the red tape as well on the handle. Imagine getting finger burns otherwise. I think I didn't actually spot that then. I was looking at the chat, but I presume that freight was 87. I think all the freights on the timetable is still an 87. Yeah, I mean, you know, trains in the 80s with so much more variety, really. Yeah, is that through Just Trains, and if you've got some some points for buying stuff before? I'll be honest with you, I did consider buying it from the website, and you know, I think it's kind of a little bit quicker in the pockets of Just Trains, but I just wanted to get the game loaded up quickly, so I kind of chickened out, did it straight from Steam. I mean, it does make me think though. I mean, we already, I'm not even sure it's a definite, whether it's been said as a definite thing, but it's been suggested that the next route that Just Trains produce is going to take advantage of the 86. So if that's the case, it's either going to be another section of the West Coast Main Line, or it's going to be the Great Eastern. Kind of one thing or the other with this 15 mile an hour. You either get there too soon for it, or you come zooming into the station. Oh, we've got an 87 coming through. Presume that wasn't stopping at the station. Thanks for everybody tuning in, by the way, tonight. So if you are watching for the first time, then thank you very much, and thank you for all the loyal supporters that keep subscribing, but anybody new and you'd like to consider liking and subscribing, I'd be tremendously grateful. I can't believe I've made the 15 mile an hour. Difficult keeping it at the right speed though. I can't kind of put my finger on it, but it is, you know, obviously it's less power, but it does feel slightly harder to control. Ah, good evening, Gaming 85. Oh, I didn't mean to put emergency there. Well, I think that will do us anyway. Well, we're slightly We should have been a bit further up the platform, but I think that'll do us for the first stop. Like it says Lancaster, but I presume that's a Morecambe service, isn't it? Yeah, good to see we've still got plenty of passengers on board. They haven't all got off at yeah, well, it certainly did when it was electrified, South Western, and then Amaze Taves will be the expert on that to tell us when it went over into Class 90. So it was originally 86s and these Mark II carriages. I think they were Mark 2D, but we had something called a DVSO on the end, which was a driver van trailer, but old school. They were originally from the Glasgow Edinburgh route, but they had like they were basically looked like a BSO carriage, and with a flat thing with the cab on. Better get going, otherwise we're going to be late, aren't we? Have we shut the doors? I can't remember. No, we haven't. Yeah, I'd love to see a sort of an old school Great Eastern. I mean, I'd quite like to see Great Eastern in any version, really, but I would certainly love it with the with the 86. Our excellent South Western. Which ones were they? Right. Yeah, I've been on all those. Swanage is absolutely delightful. When you start out from Swanage and you go through to Corfe Castle, then it is. I mean, Dorset countryside's beautiful anyway, but yeah, it's a delightful railway. And if you've ever read Enid Blyton and the Famous Five, then you feel as though that's her area. Excellent South Western. I was actually going to upload the Flying Scotsman on the West Somerset Railway the other week, but I've kind of forgotten. I think it was all it was. I was trying to get it going, the Flying Scotsman. I couldn't get it moving, but I think it's because I hadn't set it up for vacuum brake working. I think that's all it was. Yeah, and you can tell I read the Famous Five when I was little, but I'm told that Corfe Castle is basically the description that Enid Blyton uses of Kerrion Castle in the books. Right, excellent South Western, yeah. I mean, as as the Mace Taze was saying the other day, really, you know, it's not massively different than the 87, but a lot of people are griping about the fact that it's £20, but I can kind of understand it in many ways because of the coaches as well. You know, we've kind of got all that Mark 2 stock, and having the you know, the BSO as well. They didn't even bother putting that in, but they've gone to the effort of doing that. And the icing on the cake really is the literally is the RMB. We just need the other Mark 1 Buffet car now, which was the I forget what were they RN? No, these are RMB, aren't they? But what were the RFK, something like that? There was like a kitchen something or other, weren't they? I like that bargaining, yeah. Yeah, do you think yeah, fingers crossed on that then, Southwestern. So we're going to get even more pretty, aren't we, in a minute? Oxenholme is next. Yeah, marvellous Southwestern. Yeah, yeah, that would look very nice. Yeah, fair enough. I know with your you know, the Virgin one that you did for the 87, that was fantastic. Well, you say that, but I mean, I downloaded the I think it was version 2, and I thought that was marvellous. Really, it was. I thought the weathering, everything that you got about it looked really good. I mean, it's almost, well, it's impossible, but it's difficult for it to be perfect. I quite like as well for this 86. I mean, I know it's the wrong era, but I'd love to see the Swallow livery. I'm sure somebody will do that pretty quickly. And the only issue I've seen with some of the kind of the Swallow era trains so far. Oh, there you go. You see, I've missed that. I did technically switch off the power, but I should have obviously switched it off way in advance. Yeah, I think the reason Just Trains haven't put them in is I think their argument is that it's the wrong time period. It should be. This is supposed to be 1986, 1987. And that's partly why we're getting these mixed formation rates, where you've got intercity executive, some of the carriages, and some of it's British Rail Blue. Ah, excellent to Mace Taze. That it's incredible, isn't it, how quickly people do them? People are awesome, really. Now then, because I didn't do the neutral section, I think if I do power off, let's just see if this works now. No, not quite. So we might have to do a bit more work. Yeah, I'd like to have a go at Les Ross, actually. That would work well. Now then, what was it he was saying, Tom? Not anti-slip rate. Which one is it? One of these is like a reset, isn't it? That's the wiper. What are all these things? So that's anti-slip brake, pantograph, overload reset. Right, that's going to be it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've got some power again. Yeah, that's because I didn't observe the neutral section properly. So again, a little bit more effort needed than in the 87. Yeah, we definitely needed a Freightliner, and I was looking. I was kind of looking the other day as well to see did 86s ever run solo in Freightliner livery, and I found at least one example, and it probably didn't happen that often, but doesn't matter massively. But I definitely want to give the 86 a run in Freightliner livery on the North London line. Oh yeah, this is Carmforth, isn't it? I nearly had a scary worry for a minute then. I was thinking this can't be Oxenholme already. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Southwestern, you could get a couple of rail tours in with the 86. I mean, I'll be honest, and again, it's way beyond. Well, I wouldn't have the time to do it even if I knew how. But I'd love to see now for West Coast Main Line South a sort of a all-electric or sort of a pre-Pendolino timetable, and featuring 86s, 87s. You could have 313s for the Watford DC lines, and you'd probably have to use 321 in Network Southeast livery for the 323s for the 321 services. I think there is 87s on the freight runs, isn't there, actually, thinking about it on the that OTS timetable. I've never tried one actually on West Coast Main Line South. And I don't know, I can't remember whether they're double-headed or not. Right, we'll get a decent view of this train in a minute. Blocked by a tree now. Right, wait a minute. Oh, we're now speeding. Now we've got the AWS going off. This is all just to try and get a decent view of the train going past. That's better. mean, I think the great thing about this route as well, this Preston Carlisle, is that I think because I don't kind of drive it every week, every time I come back to it, it feels like it's coming back to a new route again, and I always absolutely love the detail. And it probably won't be this next week, or maybe even the next couple of weeks, but at some point we're going to have to do a full Freightliner container run on Preston Carlisle. I mean, I think each one's a couple of hours, so you know, it's going to be a long old, it's going to take up more than half the stream, but we'll have to do it one of these weeks. And I've no idea whether it's possible, but if somebody was able to do some massive modding and make it so that you could basically do a freight with the 86 in as a double header, then that would be amazing. You never know, because I mean the Azuma, when that came out, we'd only got this low powered diesel unit, and then somebody did a mod so as you could operate it as a proper diesel engine on 5 circle. But apart from the fact that it is slightly underpowered, I must admit, you do end up feeling as though it's not kind of amazingly different than the 87. Often the way, Southwestern. I'm trying to think when me and my brother, because we went camping near Swanage, and crikey, that's a good while ago. Oh well, there you go. Oh wow, yeah. Swanage just before Christmas, so I presume that was that on a Santa special. I'm trying to think. It's 20 odd years ago when me and my brother went camping. I'd have to try and think. I'm trying to put some dates on it in my mind. I know on that holiday we went to Wareham, and we did one of those. Oh, I saw the neutral section sign there. Me and my brother hired a boat out for an hour, and anyway, the man was explaining to us how to operate it. And of course, I didn't take in a word of what he said, and basically ran into the bridge, and then he shouted us back, and then he says, "Right, listen to me this time." I thought, right, okay, that's telling me. And having seen me train driving, you're probably not overly surprised about that. Yeah, it'd be nice if some of those freight workings could be 86 hauled. But I was alright after that. That was the thing. Once I got the hang of it, we went round for the full hour. I didn't do any damage to it anyway, I'm pleased to say. See if we can get a better stop into Oxenholme and managed to get all of the train to the station. No, they didn't. And it wasn't unheard of, but you didn't see many 87s on freight runs. Yeah, it's quite nice actually. If you get a heritage DMU, you can actually film from the behind the cab, and it's almost as though you're actually doing your own cab view, or you've got your own cab view. Yeah, I love the old green DMUs. I mean, I don't really remember them being in green in real life. It was all British Rail blue, but I've seen the old photos of when they were first kitted out, and they look lovely. And of course at Oxenholme we've got the branch to Windermere, and all the tracks actually in place. But maybe one day the scenery. I was always hoping that they were supposed to be bringing out a 104 for Peak Forest, and then you thought perhaps they might do the scenery then, but I think that has got zero chance of ever materialising, unfortunately. Yeah, it's lovely to drive, and as I say, it's I mean, so is this to drive, but it's not massively different than driving the 87. I have to say, I love these carriages. Sake. West Coast Main Line, oh, Christmas closure by the looks of it. Between Carlisle and Glasgow will be closed. Trains will be diverted between Glasgow and Carlisle, which will add an hour to journey times. Buses will be provided for passengers wanting Lockerbie, Carstairs and Motherwell from outside Carlisle and Glasgow Central Railway stations. Love these things as well. I remember these. You're carrying your suitcases about. Back in the days when suitcases didn't have wheels on the way that they do now. Actually, I noticed that one seemed blank, but the one at Preston I noticed earlier on actually got not to be removed from Preston, which I thought was a nice touch. Oh, I know. Yeah. There we go. Back to the guard. Nice to hear the guard whistling as well. So Penrith next stop, and we've got that lovely trek through the this part of the Lake District now between Oxenholme and Penrith. It's actually I've tried setting it up as ultra now, because I've got everything set as high before, but I've turned it up to ultra. So fingers crossed, it seems to be running all right. Oh, I've missed the neutral section again. So I've probably got to do that reset again, I think. Yeah, you really do have to be careful of these neutral sections. Yeah, so power is... Right, now we should be okay. Just making sure you don't go into that red zone. Got quite a stiff climb as well, so it takes a bit of getting back up. And also, I mean, it obviously looks slightly better for me as I'm watching it. I'm streaming from on my telly. I've got the other monitor as well, but I can only do it in 1080 HD, and I'll never be able to, well, certainly at the moment with fibre in this area, we're kind of out in the neck of the woods in the country, so I won't be able to stream it in 4K, but sadly I'd love to be able to do it. I thought I'd just try putting ultra rather than high, and so fingers crossed. Okay, I'm not getting 60 frames per second, but it's all right. Yeah, and I think that is the problem. Problem for me. Like I say, unless we suddenly get an upgrade in the fibre in this area, and okay, you never say never, it'll happen eventually, I suppose, but there's actually zero chance of me streaming it in 4K, much as I'd love to. The thing that irritates me the most is the stutteriness at places like Euston and Manchester Piccadilly. So that's the only thing that really convinces me that I need better hardware. So it's something I'd definitely consider. And the problem is, it's only going to get worse because the game's obviously going to get better and more graphically demanding. So it's only going to go one way. And inevitably, a 5-year-old computer's going to struggle at some point. Definitely tell with the power with this thing though, and you know, we're obviously on an uphill gradient, and I feel as though it's not been quite so easy to accelerate away. I mean, the 87 used to set off like a rocket sometimes. Yeah, I'm the same, apart from the only thing I've done in the last year, about November time before Christmas, I've put some more memory in, so I've got 32 gig RAM now rather than 16 that it was with originally. It's one of those things I'll never be able to tell how that's benefited me, but I'm sure it must have helped a bit. One of those funny things about these release nights though, isn't there, because there'll be so many people streaming it, there'll be, so there's loads of choices to watch in terms of that, but also there'll be a load of people that have actually bought it and are actually playing it, so it's a funny old time really. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that reminds me of oh crumbs, what was that game back in the day? Denture to Go, which I had for the PC. That was a bit like that, where you could see stuff loading in, parts of Tokyo loading in front of your very eyes. But it's very good at the time. My mum played a big part in there actually, because she was talking to somebody in some computer shop in Stoke, the Stoke area, and he was saying, "Oh, you need to get your PC, your PlayStation chips to be able to run that." And then he suggested somewhere fairly close to who would do it for us, and so I think actually. I think Mum was just as excited about seeing that operational. I must admit, I've seen a more recent version of Denture to Go as well, and the later versions absolutely look stunning. I'd love to see, I mean, much as though, I mean, I know they're doing that Tadami line, hopefully now for Train Sim World 6, but I'd love to see something more, I'd love to see a Tokyo city route for Train Sim World. Still quite tempted by the Train Sim Classic one, but I'd love to see a Tokyo sort of suburban stopping thing, which would be amazing, and I'd love to see the Shinkansen as well. Because I think probably apart from you know, sort of British railways, you know, I'm interested in like the German stuff, the ice trains and stuff like that, and the TGV, but I think probably second to British should have to be Japan. This is Loon Gorge, isn't it? That's a much photographed scene as well by the motorway. Ah, excellent, Southwest. Is this the big holiday then? Is it the big 6 weeks? Yeah, well, it was announced originally. I think the team who were doing it. Again, it's one of these things where it's only like one or two people at maximum who are building it. So can't remember the name of what they brand themselves under, but you know, clearly they're a small team, and it takes a long time to get things going. Oh, is it the big final year? Is it at school? Well, enjoy it. Tell you what, you know, school's something you look back on in delight in years to come. But you don't always realise it when you're there. I mean, I'm talking about, I left school 37 years ago. I'm cranking up for you, makes you feel old. Anyway, I'm not getting depressed myself with that, but you could actually be in the Lake District doing this section, couldn't you? It's absolutely stunning. There's the BSO. So yeah, you would think it wouldn't take that much effort to make a DBSO, but of course you'd have to make it drivable. I guess that's the difficulty. Make a nice screenshot, wouldn't it? Yes, that's right, Union Workshop. Yeah, I think they were the people behind the Tokyo commuter thing for Train Sim Classic. The only thing that puts me off with that is, I saw the neutral section reminder there. The only thing that puts me off slightly with that Train Sim Classic one is it's a horrible cab. It looks as though you're practically straining your neck to view out of. It's not like this where it's absolutely perfect. Oh, I nearly forgot. I switched it off and then nearly put the power back on again. Yeah, well, that's fair enough, isn't it, Southwestern? And the thing is that, you know, for a lot of people, you know, and even ATS, I mean, I think Alan Thompson himself is full-time, but the people who have developed the routes really just are not. So, you know, people have full-time jobs, they have various things going on, and you just imagine that building this stuff takes forever. I'd still be absolutely delighted though to see another first generation DMU come out, and if we got a first generation AC EMU, well, I can't tell you what the excitement levels would be like if we had a, you know, either a 304, a 305, or a 310 or a 312 in particular. Then that would be wildest dream scenario. But I think it's probably more likely if we got say an 86 Great Eastern route, it'd be more likely to be a 321, and then I would have thought 315 would be fairly straightforward to do, using the, you know, we've already got the 313, the 314. Yeah, they're great fun. I mean, Spikey Yorks, who I've done a few of his videos, he's got a 101 in Silver Link livery for a run on the Goblin line. That's one I must get round to doing at some point. I was going to do another of his videos the other day. There's another sort of a busy Goblin line, but I've got a slight issue with it because some of the trains came back seem to be stuck together, and I couldn't figure out why. We got a freight train coming past with a loco at the back and then an EMU attached to it, and I think the EMU is supposed to be attached but not attached to the freight train as well. It was very, very bizarre. But yeah, I love driving the DMUs, even if it's the Pacer. No, I didn't actually. Southeastern, no, that's completely evading me. Yeah, that's a shame to hear. So I hope it's, hope nobody was seriously injured, and also I hope that the trainers can be fixed again. But no, I haven't seen the pictures of that. Right, do you think it's a complete wreck, is it? Oh, I'll have to look out for try and find the pictures of that. Oh, that is a shame. I have to keep an eye on these brakes now, aren't I? Because I think we're essentially downhill quite a bit of the way from here. Oh, okay. I mean, I know back in British Rail days that they sometimes rebuilt the cab completely. I mean, that green 47 that is in Bar King to Brunel that we've got, that's why one of the ends is completely different, because it had to be rebuilt. Speaking of which, I believe we've got a fix in now for the brakes, so you get proper brake sounds and stuff. Yes, indeed. I'm going to keep going with the, not going to speed up. I know it's 95, but we've got the 80 coming up. Try and keep an eye out for Penrith station as well, which is less than 10 miles away now. Yeah, I mean, it's unthinkable years ago, and you know, I've walked around Crew Works back in the day. I can remember the 56s being built. They used to do if you kind of went the right time on a Sunday, you used to be able to have a trip round. It was kind of like a guided tour, but they didn't really do any commentary. It was just literally just to make sure he didn't wander off. But yeah, we saw the 56s being built brand new back in the 80s. We went the Crew Works open day a couple of times. We went Crew once, and we went to Derby Works as well. Remember at Derby, going in the Mark1 sleeper carriage as well, that was brand new. Probably would have been 1982 from memory. I seem to remember getting Crew Works in 83. But I think they used to alternate between Derby and Crew at the time. But yeah, you think of all the, you know, you got the Brell Works, you've got Brush at Loughborough, you've got Metcam, Met's Camel. Ah, right, excellent. Yeah, of course, Eastleigh. That's yeah, proper. Another great old name from the past. Eastleigh Works. I've seen plenty of stuff from there. Interesting area though in its own right, you know, with all the yard. Yeah, well, the 313 is lovely. I mean, Scooby isn't with us tonight, but he gets quite excited at the mention of the 313. I saw a nice reskin that I've downloaded recently with the in British Rail blue colours, so I must give that a run out on the East Coastway at some point. Yeah, definitely right. Yeah, it will indeed. Yeah, and I'm trying not make it completely 86 centric on Sunday. We'll do a couple of other things as well, because I think the thing is, I mean, for the likes of you and me, it's you know, it's wonderful 80s nostalgia, but I suspect there's a lot of the younger viewers are thinking, what's this old train rubbish? You know, they want to see newer stuff, so we'll do a bit of variety, I think. But I do fancy doing a run on the West Coast Main Line. Potentially, I'll say, might have a look at doing something on the North London line as well. I know you were saying about perhaps doing an 86, sorry, an 86 or 66 on the freight run on the East Coast Main Line. So that's got to be a contender as well. That was a bouncy old point, wasn't it? Yeah, well, yeah, excellent. And I do quite enjoy though the mixture though, really, as well, because new trains, I still quite like new trains as well as old trains, so I think both find fascinating. The one thing you do notice with these older trains though is the performance with the braking, where it doesn't quite kick in and they don't quite come off immediately. these brakes in for Penrith. Surprised myself so far because I was kind of half convinced that because I'm not that used to stopping at Oxenholme and Penrith, I was convinced I'd go flying through one of them at least 80 mile an hour. These are very much the train of my childhood. I remember growing up watching these first generation electrics. And you know, hearing that, the roar, that electric roar, and you know, other people will remember the Deltics and the diesels, but it's the electrics I remember, being pretty close to the West Coast main line. But yeah, it's slightly different to drive, but on the other hand, very, very similar to the 87, but absolute joy to drive. I mean, if somebody, I mean, I keep saying I'm going to have a go at this timetable, not a proper timetable creation, but a scenario creation. I must have a go at it sometime, but I'd love to see a West Coast Main Line South scenario featuring, I mean, you could even have a period where you'd still got the Pendolinos in just about. Yeah, I must admit that slightly passed me by Southwest, because they were kind of Southwestern trains and then Southwestern Railway, weren't they? But they more or less kept the same colours. I might have to get a little bit of be alright with that, I think. Love the old screech of the brakes as well, and then the classic sound of be interesting to know if there's anybody still left on the train, because again, DTG have got kind of a rather odd habit in terms of passengers. Ah, excellent. No, I haven't seen that Amaze Tage. Yeah, that would be lovely. And again, I'd enjoy it a million times more on Train Sim World than I would do on Train Sim Classic. Okay. I don't know. Netherlands are in action here. We've got some passengers left, but oh yeah, somebody else of the same colour. I don't think I'm going to want to see the rest of the passengers. Oh heck. Oh, come on. Mind that seat. There we are. I probably should have put that into neutral, shouldn't I, before we left. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so you'd have what would you have for the start? Would it be sort of, it'd be before the flirts, wouldn't it? So it would be more sprinter type stuff, wouldn't it? Yeah, you just have to be really patient with this thing, just coax it. And I'll tell you what would be nice as well on the Wherry lines, and the one and only time I've ever done a run probably was 2019 when I did it in real life, but I wanted to make sure that I got on that service from Norwich, went to Great Yarmouth, and I went on that Class 37 loco hauled train. So again, it was Mark 2 carriages, and I think I was behind Blackpool Tower, if I remember rightly. I think I did it in both directions. Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, you can kind of hope there's got to be some link there, hasn't there, with having somebody working for Greater Anglia. And I have to say the flirt for Train Sim Classic is probably the best unit you could drive. I think I mean, again, it's damned expensive, but you can kind of understand it because of the effort they've put in, you know, everything down to the announcements. Just a neutral section, I think. Oh, we're just about okay, I think. Hear the pop, and then we're back. Did I press that too early then, I wonder? Gone off? Perhaps I should just stayed in notch down, should I? Or have I got to do me reset again? Yeah, I think the thing about Johannes and the Richmond thing, we'll probably have to wait, now until we get official. I broke this thing at the minute. Hang on, let me just get my tray running properly again. Right, that's the reset. I said I didn't need to do it before. I have got my brakes off, haven't I? Yeah, no, we're working yet. I mean, it would be nice to see extensions, but they don't seem to go in for them that much massively. Yeah, Marston Vale would be interesting. I mean, I think the thing with Johannes is obviously originally he started to post stuff on the forums. Oh, I don't think I was watching what I was doing properly there, was I? I feel as though I broke one of the motors here. Originally he was posting photos on the forums of his development, but he was intending to release it all as freeware, and then I think DTG quite rightly picked up on how talented he was, or whether he contacted them, I have no idea. That's interesting. It's only sliding up on one side. Got the feeling I might have broke. Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? Oh well, if there was anybody who was going to break the motors, it's me. I mean, you can actually switch one off, that I do know. I'm going to try just knocking the power off for a second, and then let's just try resetting again, just see if I might have overloaded them again. No, I'm not getting any sound on it this time. Hang on. Right, let's try that now. There we go. Now we're getting power on both. There you go. You see, we're 14 miles away from Carlisle, and we should be arriving roundabout now. Yeah, I quite like the pannier tank. It's quite charming, isn't it? Yeah, brilliant, yeah, and what a great job he's done too. And hopefully, I mean, it's fantastic really, all the people that, and nobody quite knows what exactly everybody will do, these people that are working on stuff, and because it's, it's a massive undertaking, and some people will set off brilliantly and do, do amazing things, but then it's too much work to eventually finish it. But I think it's the opportunities for people are incredible. Yeah, I mean the North London line is really good already, so having the extension to Richmond, I mean I'm kind of half hoping we might get one or two pictures. That was interesting, by the way. I'm pretty sure that thing that just went past us there, that was 87, but I think it had got some Mark 2 stock on the back of it by the looks of it. Yeah, it's perhaps only TTG that can understand it at the moment. Hopefully as well we're going to get, but yeah, hopefully we'll get some pictures of the Richmond extension, perhaps in the August DTG summer direct thing, and then we also got to find out what All Aboard Studios are producing, and I've said my guess on that's going to be the North Wales coast crew to London. Now I could be entirely wrong. But obviously they're going to reveal what the main 3 routes are coming out, one of which will be UK. We're hopefully going to find out what the Just Trains route's going to be. And 1 or 2 other bits and bobs for the next few months. Yeah, good question, Base Days. I watched a bit of the video. I still haven't got round to making any more progress in terms of watching it, but it all seemed great and logical. But I must watch it, and then at some point, if it comes out in the sale, I definitely want to get that S-Bahn route, because it looks a load of fun actually. If I've got the time, this really could be a full-time job, all this stuff. Yeah, it seems to be you've got a particular problem, don't you, with Frankfurt Fulda? And again, it looks lovely. I remember the one time I did it on the stream, and again, it's frustrating because we were nearly at the end of the run, and I know it dumped on you. So there you go. If it's me, if it's you, the game dumps on you, and if it's me, I end up going through a red signal. Yeah, I know there's a lot of grumbling about the timetable on console, but yeah, it looks amazing. I love the variety as well. The fact that, you know, it's not just quite end to end. I mean, that's what I like about the Manchester Airport commuter thing. I think sometimes, I mean, this is lovely, and I love the fact we got the branch to Morecambe included, but it's slightly A to B in some ways. Although even this it's got, you know, you've got things like Carlisle, Kingsmore Yard as well, haven't you? So it's got its added things. Well, I mean, my preference will always be the well, I'm going to put speed in here, aren't I, for this 85. My preference will always be the UK stuff, but I think the German stuff's well made as well. I know, and to be honest with you, it's getting a bit like that for me. I mean, that was partly tonight where I thought, let's load the game up before 8 o'clock and try and be ready in time for the stream. And that's something I must try and do with the Sunday, so that you know, we're not waiting 10-15 minutes before we're even driving a train. And I think, then again, I mean, I've not got the hang of it yet, but I think that extra sort of immersion with the signalling and getting to grips with that is another kind of bonus, another added factor, really. So that once you know you completely got your head around it, then it's, you know, it's again, it's just something else to get excited by. Yeah, definitely another cross-country one there going southbound. I'm kind of hoping there's going to be another Dutch route as well in the next 12 months. It would be incredible if we had something surrounding Amsterdam and you know, sort of the airport run to Schiphol. And they made a great start, and clearly they got on famously, DTG, with the Dutch railways as well, and I think they were more than willing to help them. It's kind of like, oh, you want us to show you the train in emergency mode with emergency braking and stuff. Oh, I noticed the extra sign there, a very clear one about the 20 mile an hour coming up. So this must be a bit of a overspeed SPAD issue in real life, or sort of going over the speed limit anyway. Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I was interested in having a go at that. And again, it's what put me off was I was watching a couple of the videos, and it seemed like there was about 13, 14 steps before you could even move the train, get the train moving. Which I don't mind massively, but it's kind of like, it isn't that you can press them all on the keyboard. You've actually got to find the places in the cab. It's like, right, it's over there on the left, it's over there on the right, it's tucked away in that corner at the back, and all sorts of different stuff. Right, we have got power off, haven't we, yet, for the neutral section. But it does look fun. I mean, anybody who says really that, you know, sort of train sim classics the better, then I think you do some of this stuff in train sim world is just incredible, really. There is. And again, it's quite complicated. I did have a read of that, actually. I was actually thinking one Sunday, I spent like Sunday morning for half an hour or so before the start of the stream, but I didn't quite get, I couldn't quite get the hang of it. Yeah, I think you were saying it's a bit easier to set up on the southeastern high speed as well. Yeah, it's definitely one we must give a go, because there's still quite a bit of bits and bobs that I've actually got that I've actually never run on the game. It was a bit stuttery coming, yeah, still a bit stuttery coming into Carlisle. Again, one of the great stations in the country, Carlisle Citadel. To put emergency in, but I think it'll probably, yeah, we're in the platforms, we're fine. Yeah, plenty of fun. It really is an amazing game in many ways. Yeah, that's happened in real life, hasn't it? They've tried. I'm sure they've tried the ice train on occasions. I'm sure I've seen real pictures, videos of it at St Pancras. Oh, actually, I forgot to put my master switch into off. So that's always the thing when they come into the stop. You would hear them turn the power off. Oh, there we go. So for a first run, that's not too bad actually, is it? I've still managed to get a reasonably decent score. We sped a little bit of the journey, but it was 90 miles, 325 points knocked off for that. All right, so well, yeah, make sure you you get that sorted out, Southwest, and yeah, I hope you're okay. Well, there we go. So that's the Class 86. As I say, we'll do a bit more with it Sunday. Fantastic amaze Tage, yeah. Yeah, I fully recommend it. I think it's £20, but it's a lovely train. Okay, it is similar to the 87, but I think having the extra carriages, it's just that nostalgia factor, having those carriages. It takes you back. I know. Sorry about that. Yeah, talk about influencers, eh? I know. Well, thanks for joining us, and yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed it. Anyway, bit of a taste of the Class 86, but yeah, it's fabulous. So we'll have a look at what reskins are available. We'll try and include a bit on Sunday, and yeah, lovely carriages. Yeah, really good. Yes, indeed. So that's probably end it at that, I think. I think my dog will be sitting outside the door because he'll be thinking I've not made those sandwiches yet. And yeah, have a good week, Amaze Days, and to you, Southwestern, and to everybody else watching. And thank you very much for your support. Anybody that's not done so before, if you consider liking and subscribing, then do so. I'd be tremendously grateful, and really thankful for all the ongoing support, and just encourages me to keep going. And yeah, we'll be back Sunday, usual time, 5 o'clock. So I'll watch a bit of the golf on Sunday afternoon because it's the Open. But I'll kind of catch up with that afterwards, as it were. But yes, indeed, yeah. Triple Nelson. Yeah. I'd never even noticed. Yes. But yeah, thank you very much. See you all on Sunday. Thanks again. And from Power Flower, Trains and Planes, until Sunday, it's goodbye. Good night. Good night all. Night, Southwestern.